Velvet, you have another question, Sweeman?
I'm just saying it was always on her face.
Yeah,
Right.
because he would hit me in my face.
Go
So
ahead.
can you speak to how often in a week, in any given week, how often did physical abuse occur between Nature Boy and you and him putting his hands on you?
Damn near
He
every day.
he likes to paint the picture that, oh, well, she did this to me and she did that to me. And I don't like to call myself a victim, but what do you say? What thoughts go through your mind when you hear him speaking as if you were the one that was the antagonizer of those type of altercations, when you were the one that ended up with the bruises or being off camera for extended periods of time, being isolated because of the beatings that you received, and also not getting medical attention after he would abuse you so viciously that you would be in intense pain and
The
just
the only thoughts that come to my head is, God, why am I going through this? Please guide me and show me the way. Like let me see the road that I need to travel in order to get to my salvation. That's the thoughts that come into my head. Like, of course, other thoughts come to my head like, why is he lying like this? Like, why is he trying to save face? And why is everybody else around him trying to save face? But that's not for me to try to figure out, so I just start praying. That's all I can.
absolutely. I do have another question, but Stinson, I'm gonna let you go, and Sweet Mama let you go, and then I'm gonna circle back real quick.
Um, I know this one is really hard for you, Velvet. This is the one, the 4th of July. Um, I want to ask what it felt like to go through that and have all those people stand around, not do anything but spectate.
What was the question?
This one's the 4th of July, um, the one where he beat you pretty bad,
Right,
and they made a circle around him so nobody would see.
right.
What was it like to have everyone protect him and not protect you?
I never considered that because I was still trying to take up for them. So makes me feel like none of them really truly gave a fuck about me and how they say they did. That's the
I would
only thing that
imagine.
come to my heart. Like, imagine being around people that said that they loved you, that they cared about you, and they ain't want to see nothing happen to you, but then watch you get beat and abused, and then try to say that you was the reason why it happened to you. I think that's fucked up.
That had to be a very lonely feeling.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, we were pretty shocked to learn about that. That information actually came from a live that Star did after she ended up leaving the cult, and she went live with a couple of the other members that left and revealed that. She also revealed the abuse that was occurring between Solar and Zoka while Zoka was still pregnant. And
Yeah.
so that was shocking information. To hear what you went through was shocking. We already knew that there was abuse going on, but
Yeah,
there's
and no one still doesn't come forward and talks about that.
No, they don't.
No, Star was the only
But
one.
it's all good because God gonna speak for me. So it is what it. I'm not worried.
Can I ask, was Sybil the only person that took care of you after that beating? The only person?
Yeah,
Are you happy that she put those details in the book? That you had
yeah,
a
yeah.
Did you ever ask him to take you to the hospital after any of those occurrences and get denied? I mean, just did you ever ask to go? Did you ever think it was that serious?
No,
No? Okay.
I. He actually asked me the July 4th. He actually asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital, and I said no. Cause I knew that if I would have went to the hospital, I would have had to tell him what he did to me, which would have incriminated him. So I said no.
Okay.
All right. I know this one, and this is actually in correlation with the abuse, but this one might be a tough one as well. Um, I didn't know this until recently. I heard that Nature Boy actually ran away with baby Eliana once. Would you like to speak on what happened?
Wait, what?
I heard that Nature Boy had ran away with baby Eliana at one time. Like actually ran away with her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to speak on that? If not, I understand.
And Nature Boy always tried to kidnap Eliana out of my presence. She was why he was holding me hostage. He would say, "You can't leave. I'm confiscating." He always confiscate my documents. Then once I had the baby, it turned into taking the baby from me. You can't. He'll tell me you can't leave unless you leave the baby. So that was a big factor in why I wasn't able to just walk away, like just on my own accord, outside of the incident when my dad came to Mexico to get me. But yeah, he definitely physically kidnapped Eliana from my presence when we was in Atlanta, Georgia, living at Cookie's house because I told him that I didn't want to be in a relationship with him and Malia and that they could be together without me there. And I tried to leave and he didn't want me to leave. And Malia tried to grab my arm from walking out the door and so I snapped on her because bitch what you not about to do is try to get me into no, like leave me alone, like stay in your lane. So we started fighting and somebody took the baby out of my hands, gave it to Nature Boy. Nature Boy, Malia, and Aya and some other person got in the car and left. And I called child protection.
Oh my, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
So once you called child protection, how soon did it take for you to get baby Ellie back?
Not long. It was like a couple hours.
Wow.
He didn't want to go through any. He knew that if he wouldn't have gave her back to me, then he would have had to go through the court and the system and all that. And he didn't want to do that, so he just gave her back to me.
Man, this is a lot.
Whew.
I'm just gonna ask this before T you go. I just always wanted to know when CPS was called, Alicia recently has been
I
saying,
can't hear you, sweet
Can't
ma.
hear you, sweet ma.
okay, can you hear me now?
Come a little closer.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay. I'm asking this because Eligio is recently saying that CPS had you guys sign a contract so that you don't show the children on camera, and I just want to know if that was true or false.
We signed a contract with the CPS people in Atlanta, Georgia, to not show any of our personal business on social media, and he has breached that contract. multiple times.
Wow. So he totally manipulated that
It's not my
into a lie.
signature, it's his signature. I didn't sign shit. He had to sign and say that I'm not going to put any of my personal business online anymore, and he has breached that contract.
So there was never anything that says the children specifically, because he said the
It
reason
was
why.
it was our personal life, including the children. The children are a part of our personal life. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
regarding to our personal life, like him doing the real nigga moments, him showing the whys, like all of that stuff was never the shit he's doing now. Like none of that's supposed to be being documented. None of it.
Okay. Right.
You guys had to, well, he had to sign a contract, but then a week later or a few days later, you guys are on a 24/7 show. I forgot what it was called, but
Wait, wait, say that again.
remember when they were watching you for 24/7 when you guys were in New York?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense if he signed a contract and then he goes on a show that's
This was
displaying.
after that show. This was after that show. Yeah,
Okay.
after this show, and that show was some connection he had with a actual person who streams 24/7 on YouTube. But that was after. This contract was after that 24-hour stream.
Okay. Thank
Okay, so I'm going to jump all the way ahead, Velvet, because everybody has been wanting to know how in the world did you make your final escape from Nature Boy? Can you walk us through the day leading up to that and tell us what happened and how did you do that?
So on this particular day when I left, I didn't know that I was gonna leave this day, but I had an idea that I would leave sometime soon. I had been planning my escape for damn near 2 months being there. I had to wait for a good day to leave. So I pretty much just made him feel comfortable with me because he was physically abusing me so bad the last time I left that I didn't want to get hit anymore. So I had to comply to what he was telling me to do. So I made him feel comfortable. I made the other women feel comfortable. I had to communicate a lot. I was talking a lot of, to make everybody feel comfortable or whatever. But um once he started getting really really comfortable, he started really doing things that I never really seen him do before, and this was adding up on why I felt like I wanted to leave. I just never said nothing verbally to him or to anyone else. And so this particular day he had bought us some weed, and he had bought some Hennessy. This was the first time he drank Hennessy in years from what I've known. I appreciate that shit, y'all. From what I know, and he had always been against weed at this particular moment. So when he drunk the alcohol and the other women smoked the weed and stuff, that was outside of our normal routine. So I knew that everybody would be sleeping in a little bit longer or other than you, like more than usual. So I used that day to escape. But there were specific details that happened to me that led up to my final decision, like nah, this is not happening, like I'm not going through with it, and I'm never going back. Like certain things happened there that allowed me to feel like I never wanted to go back. Like he separated all the men and all the women, including the women who had children by other men, including the women who were pregnant by the other men. He's the once he got, it was about maybe 7 or 8 women. Once he got all of the women in the house, he had sex with us, and for 2 weeks straight, having sex with Zoka pregnant, big ass and big and pregnant. He was still having sex with her anally, head, swallowing his cum, like everybody, all of the women. He did he went to have anal sex with other people because I wasn't letting him do that with me. My body wasn't receiving him in that way. There was a lot of other shit that I can't necessarily say on Big or get banned, but yeah, I'll write that for the book. I'll put that in my book.
So
That'll be a good
he
book.
talks about you just being gone in the heat of the night. Did you like when you decided to that you were gonna leave? Did you already have it set up? Like, did you call your family? Like, did you just walk out the front door? Did you leave in the middle of the night?
I I had set it up. I set it up when he was on that live that night with that black shirt on. I was packing my things. I was packing me and Eliana's things that night. Oh, I appreciate that. And once I packed all my stuff up, he got mad. And he was like, this when he called, I don't know if y'all remember, but this is when he called all the women to the table. And he was like, y'all all just need to sit here and stop moving around because I feel like y'all not paying attention. So, but by that time, I had all my stuff packed in the closet, in the room, in the back. And I was like, nah, I made him feel good. Once he got off the live, I was like, I want all of us to sleep together. So I created a big, nice pad for all of us to go to sleep together. But before this day, I had made us sleep together. Like, I made everybody sleep together, like in one room, so that it could be easier for me to just walk away and leave and him not think nothing of it. So by the time I brought everybody together to sleep together in the living room. Once they was knocked out after smoking weed and drinking Hennessy, I at first I left Eliana on the pad. I got up. I took my bags from the room. I put my bags outside to where I needed to go. Like everywhere he lives, he has a big gate around us. So this particular house, the side of the gate on the house at the side, it was like pushed down, so I was able to get out. So I put my bags on the other side of the gate. I went back in the house. I picked Eliana up from the floor. I attached her to my body. I had a little baby carriage. Attached her to my body. I climbed over the gate and I picked my bags up and I started walking. And I kept walking until I came to like this construction site. And I called a cab. And by the grace of God, the cab came and got me and drove me all the way to the airport. And my sister bought me a flight back to where she was. And that's how I came back home that last time.
Wow, lifetime movie
I
type
never got
stuff.
I got my documents because when I was making him, mind you, he's confiscating my documents every single time. So I had to wait until I had my at least my passport to leave to get on the plane. So how I got that was by 2 months of me making him feel comfortable, he allowed our documents to stay next to us. Before this, he would like have Loyal holding on to our documents. He would only let Loyal have our, and Loyal never is around us. So once I started making him feel comfortable, he started having our documents around us more. And so by the time I left, I was able to take me and Eliana's passport and my ID. And but that was the only thing that was the only documents that I could retrieve on my last escape. And he still has all my other documentations like Eliana's birth certificate, my social, all that.
But luckily, it was enough for you to get on a plane or whatever you got on and get home.
Yeah,
That was smart thinking, Velvet.
yeah.
Wow, that I hope you do write a book, honestly. I really hope you do.
Me too. Um,
Oh,
David, I'm having anxiety right now because this is one of the toughest questions that I have, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable. So please, if I do, please just tell me to stop. But I feel that this is very important that it's addressed because till this day, it's still talked about. There was a time
come
where
a little closer, sweet ma.
thank you, sis. There was a time where you all were live. This live was a live that was deleted immediately. And you guys Want to know what it has to do with? It has to do with the gray sweatpants. Now, how I'm asking this question is in no disrespect.
Just ask the question. I'm sorry. I want to let you know that I'm straight. Like you can
Okay.
ask me I'm gonna be able to answer the
And,
question.
all right. So in that video, Eligio, he was gyrating. He was just having a good time, and you noticed something was off, and you asked him to change his pants. Did he did he ask you to make the video to defend him, or did you feel uncomfortable when you saw the sweatpants?
When everything happened, when everything went down, um, I felt some type of way when he had the great. He wasn't on the hard or nothing. Like I didn't think that he was on the hard when I seen him or whatever. But uh, I felt some type of way because I felt like he was trying to put on a show for women.
By swinging? By
Yeah, and I didn't like that. Like I found that to be trifling. I found that to be disrespectful to our union. You know, so I politely, like asked them, like, can you change your pants? You know what they say, you know what I'm saying about niggas with sweatpants, blah 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 blah, whatever. So, um, I asked him to change. Then after that, he tried to spin it off and made it seem like it was all right or whatever. And I'm just sitting there like, what? Like, you still got your dick in the camera? Then he picks up Eliana. I didn't think that he was on a hard. Still, like I didn't think that he was on a hard. I wasn't even looking at his print like that. You know what I'm saying? I just felt the energy of the situation. And so whenever he picked up Eliana, um I don't remember how I specifically felt at that moment. Because that wasn't something out of the ordinary for him to do. Because during that time, he was spending a lot of time with his children. Osiris was there at the time. So it was an atmosphere where he felt like he had at least two of his children together. But it, before I escaped, this was way before I escaped. This was back at Cookie's house or whatever. Certain things that happened after that I didn't find out until after the fact. But in that moment, at Cookie's house, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. And people, I thought people was insinuating that he was on the hard holding Eliana and stuff like that, but I didn't think that he was. I would have known if he was. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I felt about the situation. But I do feel like also when after all of that, I felt like Nature Boy had a certain energy on him for that video. I felt like that video, even after the fact, like once Eliana got out my throat chakra is activated like a motherfucker. Once Eliana got moved out of the scene and stuff like that, that video became very sexual. He was flipping the women around and doing all of this and doing all of that. It became very sexual. So obviously, unconsciously, I picked up on the energy, and I naturally responded to it like you should not do that. But he's the type of person, he's just gonna do what I will. He's just gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. So it is what it was what it was in that moment.
did you get scolded for that? Because
Hold on, wait. So can I add to that really
huh?
quickly?
No,
So he didn't have a battery pack in his pocket, right?
I don't know. I don't know what he had in his pants at that time. He said it was a battery pack, but I don't know what he had in his pockets. I wasn't there to watch him put anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I don't know what's in your pockets right now, like on some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what was in his pockets. I don't remember him putting
Mhm.
a battery pack in his pocket. I don't remember him picking up a battery pack. I don't remember if he even had anything in his pockets. All I remember was that I asked him to change his pants.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Did he scold you or did you get beat over that live because you brought attention to it? Did he have an issue with you after that?
No. He just wanted me to take up for him and say that he wasn't on hard or whatever. And I didn't I personally didn't think that he was, but I could definitely say that, once the baby was removed from the situation, it got very sexual. Like I felt the sexual energy before, and that's why people could insinuate that he was doing anything sexual or even on the hard when he was holding the baby, because that was the energy that he was holding way before he picked up the baby. You know what I'm saying? So if that makes sense, if y'all understand what I'm saying. Like
Mhm.
that was the vibe. That was the whole vibe.
That was a difficult video to watch. Really was.
You said what?
It was a difficult video to watch. Mhm.
He said it was a hard video to watch during the time. And then when he made you guys get on live, it's like he kind of wanted to shift the focus off of him and put it on to you guys defending him because he knew that he was carrying sexual energy that night. And he knew probably, I don't know if he was drinking that night or if he had smoked some weed or something, but he knew him holding that baby probably was completely inappropriate considering however he was feeling during that moment.
I
And
feel
then
like I feel like he's a pedophile to me. Nature Boy is a pedophile to me. And I'm gonna stop saying that word before I get banned on Bigo. But he's that to me because when a man talks about having children with multiple women and then sleeping his children together, that's some pedophilic shit. Like if you really think about the dynamic and how your mind has to work in order to even think a thought like that, is is nasty. Is nasty. You understand? That's sick. Like it's really sick. So yeah, if a nigga could lay down and have multiple wives and have children with these multiple wives and then sleep his children with his other child, you not gonna put it past him that he would ever, be perverted to his child. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason why he wants his child to sleep with his other child, because he wants to be in his child. You know what I'm saying? Like it's twisted.
You mentioned pedophilia. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want you to get in trouble. The P word.
You
Um,
could say real quick, sweet mom. You could say allegedly when you say the p word. Say allegedly.
allegedly pedophilia. Yeah. Okay. Um, because we're not trying to get banned again for the fourth time. No, 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 not tonight. Um, so there was a video where a young man had called in. It was recorded. A young man called in to say that he had his young children.
you muffled.
I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Can you check your speaker to make sure it's not covered?
No. Can you hear me now?
She's saying that a while back there was a young man that called in to speak to Nature Boy in regards to the experience that he had with his 2-year old niece and nephews. And I think she was asking more so like, how did you feel about that, right?
Yes, thank you, Kiss. He was eating on camera while asking the guy deep questions like,
Yes, very detailed questions about did your thumb do this? Did your pinky like was it a this? What he was asking.
Wait. Y'all gonna have to backtrack because I'm not. I don't know what y'all talking.
Okay, so Nature Boy was on live. This was back when y'all were in Panama, and no, y'all were in Palenque. Y'all were in Palenque, and he was sitting outside on those red stairs outside of your room. There was a young guy that called in that was maybe about 18 or 19, and he was speaking to Nature Boy about his alleged, no, that wasn't alleged because he said he did it, about his pedophilic behavior with his niece and nephew that were like under the age of 5, and Nature Boy was asking very detailed questions like about, did you put your thumb here, pinky, like he was asking him
I'm not gonna
this.
lie, I don't know what y'all talking about, so I
Okay.
probably was asleep for that because a lot of in Palenque, like during the pregnancy and after I had Eliana, when he would go live by himself, I would go to sleep. He didn't know that I was going to sleep, and if he found out that I was sleeping, he would have been really, really mad. But I was asleep a lot of the times he went live, so I wasn't like
Hmm.
watching him like on the other end of the live. Like maybe other people were, in the camp, but I definitely wasn't. Like once I got time alone, where I could do what the fuck I wanted to do, I did what I wanted to do. Period. So I don't remember this. I don't even know what y'all talking about, honestly.
Okay.
Well, that's a good thing. Um, it was a yeah, it was pretty crazy live to be honest with you. But Velvet, this leads me into my next question. It's a little unrelated, but I know a lot of people say that, oh, well, if Nature Boy wasn't polygamous, she would be back there, if but there's so many other things outside of the polygamy that are off-putting and are, red flags. Can you kind of speak on the fact of what about Nature Boy at this point would make you never go back to him? Or if you still struggle with thoughts of wanting to go back to him? I know he likes to tell his followers often that you still love him, you just want him all to yourself. Can you speak on that from your perspective, please?
I've always told Nature Boy that he can be who he can be with whoever he wants. He always insinuated and forced the fact that he felt like I need to be there because I'm the one that's going to pull his ship together. I'm the one that's going to make his ship float. So I never ever wanted like to be in the polygamous relationship with him. I actually was trying to give him the benefit to do what he's doing now, but that's still an issue. Like with him, with me, if we not polygamous, it's an issue. If we are, it's an issue. Like it's you can't win for losing. You see what I'm saying? So it's not really a like tit for tat, like who's what and what's what and not. It's just the simple fact that he can't have me in any kind of way. So you know what I'm saying? But for me personally, what the reason why I'm not going back to Nature Boy or even considering going back to Nature Boy is because number one, I don't want my daughter to live this lifestyle. I don't want her to grow up thinking that this lifestyle is okay. I don't want her growing up watching these women hop from man to man so that she grows up thinking that it's okay to hop from man to man. You see what I'm saying? Like, bad enough, I have a certain experience that I have to have in life with men. You know what I'm saying? That she's going to be exposed to whether I like it or she likes it or not. And I'm going to have to walk through that path with her and teach her along the way. So I'm not going to put anything much more on her than what she needs to experience at this age. Number one. Number two, that's not the lifestyle that I ever wanted to live or give my child. So everything is null and void. Everything is null and void. That's all I have to say. Deeper, or in the details of that, it's a lot of shit like him sleeping with all those women, him trying to get all of them pregnant, to have multiple babies, to sleep them together. Like, don't get me wrong, like him being with all the women is not the issue. The issue is how he's being with all of those women, how he's putting us against each other, how he's trying to lie to us and tell us one thing, but he's actually really living in another way. You know what I'm saying? How he's beating us, physically abusing us, mentally abusing us. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the reasons why I'm not going back to him. I got with him knowing that he was polygamous. I thought that I could do it because I'm a humanitarian and I don't like 100% possess the person that I'm with. I allow that person to have freedom. I allow that person to fully express themselves so that we can mutually have an understanding of who we both are within the dynamic of the relationship. But Nature Boy, on the other hand, he's completely controlling, but I got in the situation with him thinking that I was equipped to do it because of how detached I am about my love life or like being in love with somebody. You know what I'm saying? But along the way, I learned a lot about myself and how I love and my love language, and it's not anything congruent to Nature Boy. So, my love language is not is not equally yoked, and that that's enough. You know what I'm saying? All for the strength of my daughter is enough. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. That was a big question. And I
Um,
completely understand what you mean about the humanitarian side of you. I think a lot of people get confused about that. I know that with you being an Aquarius moon, that's some or an Aquarius sun, that's something that's innate in you. It's you get that naturally. Even if there are Aquariuses out there that haven't tapped into that yet, there are naturally that way. I my moon is in Aquarius, so I
I
completely
appreciate that.
understand. Yeah,
I appreciate
completely
that.
understand where you're coming from when it comes to that. It looks like Stenton dropped, so Sweet Ma, you can ask your next question until she comes back.
She's back in the queue.
it's actually connected to your question. I pay attention to the comments, and the, the people that are concerned when you were exposing Eligio, you would say the only reason why you're not with him is he couldn't keep his private in his
Sweet
pants.
mom, we can't hear you.
You gotta pick up your phone from wherever it is, and
Yeah, I think you might have to pick it up.
Hold on, it's the okay. Can you hear me now?
that's better.
Okay. So basically, I had a few people comment this. In one of your videos or two of them, you said the only reason why you and Eligio did not work out was because he couldn't keep his penis in his pants. But you didn't mention the abuse. You didn't say the abuse was the reason. The concerns with baby Ellie not being raised in a good environment. The main thing you would always say is that he couldn't keep his privates in his pants. Is that the only reason, or like, is it everything? And you were just only like referring to one thing. Is the real reason because he wouldn't be faithful, or you were just done
I
completely?
just told you. I literally just told the people the overall, like, what, in the sense of what you're asking me. That was a moment, like a literal moment of how I was feeling overall. Overall, this is not what I want to give my child. This is not what I want to give myself. So that's why I will never be with him. I don't want to live this kind of lifestyle in all of the ways. Like literally, like I don't want to live like this. And I'm not talking to you, sweet ma. I'm talking to the audience. I'm talking to the audience. I don't want to live this way. There were multiple details in the spectrum of me not wanting to live the lifestyle. Like him not being able to keep his penis in his pants. Him not allowing the women to get any medical attention. Him trying to mate his children with each other. Him trying to dictate when and the women can do what and when they can go and where they can eat and when they can sleep and all of it. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live that lifestyle. Period. And I never want to give my or had I never wanted to have a baby in that circumstance to give her that lifestyle. You see, this is why I'm not going back to live with him or be with him for that matter. And I would, for the record, I didn't fall in love with Nature Boy. I didn't fall in love with Nature Boy. I fell in love with the character he was portraying himself to be. He lied. He's still lying about who he is and trying to turn a blind eye to who he is. But his actions and his characteristics that he's shown the world outshine what he or how he pretends to portray himself. I fell in love with an idea. He fell in love with an idea. Nature Boy didn't fall in love with Velvet Gabriella. He fell in love with Eliana. And I'm not talking about baby Eliana. I'm talking about an idea, a character. Everybody in the panel, everybody in his life, everybody he ever lays his eyes on is not who he actually are, or not who they actually are. He sees he the lens he sees from is a delusional one. He's a very delusional person. He's not looking at you for who you are. He's looking at you as a character in his mind, and he's going to make you into whatever he needs to make you into to fit his circumstance or the character that he wants you to be in his mind. And when you don't live up to those standards, he he bashes you in any kind of way that he can. He will try to break you in any kind of way that he can. He will verbally taunt you in any kind of way that he can to get what he wants to get out of you, or until you give your either you give your energy to him or you don't. And the people that don't give his energy, he calls us demons. He calls us his lower self. He said that we ain't shit, that we not gonna be shit, we're gonna go to hell. This is what he says to us. And the people that stays in his presence and give him his energy, they sit there and take on that the same physical abuse or mental abuse that he's given to the people who left, because he tells those people who's giving them his energy the same thing he told the people who left. It's no difference, it's just the circumstances different. He treats everyone the same way.
And that's a fact because he has said that multiple times on lives that he idealizes people. He doesn't care what you want for yourself or how you think. You have to have his mind and you have to conform to his ideals. So thank you for answering that question. That was a good question. Thank you for answering that. That is the
Hold on,
truth.
y'all, real quick. Supreme, if you can hear us, can you mute yourself, please?
You want me
I
to mute? You want me to mute?
Supreme, yeah, you have it's background. You have background noise, Supreme.
Really? Hmm.
Thank you.
I appreciate Sweet Ma asking that question, because people want to clarify, they want to get clarification around certain things, and you'll catch me in a moment saying something, you know what I'm saying? But I realize that even though I'm in a moment in my own personal journey, people are, in a more what do you call it, like a more bigger picture. So when I answer questions, it's like overall, like what is it? You know what I'm saying? It's not like,
Right.
oh, give me a bit and a piece here or a piece here and a piece there. It's like overall. And I appreciate for her for asking that, because it clarified, a lot. It clarified, even though I answered it before, you know what I'm saying? Because I see people in the comments like, she already answered it, like whatever. Like, people need clarification, and it's okay. Like, it's okay.
Thank you, Velvet.
We can't
I
hear
can't
you.
hear you, sweet mom. I can't hear you for some reason.
Did you mute yourself?
Yeah. Okay. So the reason why I asked it specifically like that was because I wanted to make it clear that because I read comments, and a lot of the comments were stating the same thing. So I said, you know what? He asked you the question, but I just want to make sure that the whole penis, you know, not, being in his pants wasn't the only reason. Because I do remember that one live when you said it. I was reading the comments under that video, and everybody's like, "Oh, so she would stay getting her butt whooped. She would stay. She would da 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 da." It's all for the. That's what they thought. So I just wanted to clear that up. That's it. Sometimes you got to ask a question a different way for other people to comprehend. You understand? That's all.
I get
Velvet, I wanted to ask you about healing.
it.
I look at this as a cult. It was an abusive relationship. When what would you what would you say to people leaving a cult or an abusive relationship? Um, and also, is it how do I ask this? What was hard for you when you would leave and you would come back to what they call Babylon? Was it hard for you to get acclimated back to the real world, as we call it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because Nature Boy uses the lifestyle to reel people in and make them believe that he's the Messiah because he's enlightened them and taught them about this certain way of life. Because I got accustomed to the part of the lifestyle that resonated with me was being in nature and waking up in nature and immediately eating fruit. And on my free time, on my leisure time, I go to the waterfall and recharge, or get online and give my opinion or express how I, just grew a garden, or how I'm making certain decisions in my life that's healing me along my journey. Like, this was a part of the lifestyle that really, resonated with me. So when I came back to, Babylon, so to speak, I didn't have money to buy my fruit anymore. I didn't have a waterfall or water readily available, accessible to me. It was cold outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of stuff, it was a culture shock for me. And the like, me going through some of the ups and downs in the environment here in Babylon was never what propelled me to go be back and live with Nature Boy. It was the strength of Ellie, or the relationship that I wanted me, him, and Eliana to have. Like, the idea of keeping our family together was why I kept going back to him. But when it came to my environment, I would really have some very depressing days. Like, and it's funny because everybody, this is my first time living with my dad since I've even left to go to carbonation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the first time that, like, I'm back with my dad. And I noticed that everybody before my dad, who I was living with, they didn't, like, they said that they cared about me, but they didn't necessarily care about me, because they would like make fun of my eating habits. They was, like, try to coerce me into eating stuff that I don't eat and that I don't want to eat. Others, like, other little shit, you know what I'm saying, that was happening. But my dad, he tries to his hardest to accommodate me in the best way possible. Like, he will go buy a shit ton of fruit even if I don't eat it, even if it's genetically modified, and say, Vel, this is all I have right now. Just have a little more bit more patience until we get to the point where we can go pick our own coconuts off the tree. You know what I'm saying? And so that I'm with my dad and he's making the effort to keep me comfortable, as comfortable as he could on my way and on my journey into my healing journey. You know what I'm saying? It's been very healthy for me. This has been with my dad, has I've gotten the most healing that I've ever gotten before and after carbonation. I'm healing from shit with my dad that I went to carbonation with. You know what I'm saying? And so I appreciate the things that I do have in my environment right now, because my dad goes out his way to make sure that I'm good. And it is what it is. I know that, I just know that I'm never gonna allow my uncomfortability with the environment make me, or allow me to think that I have to depend on Nature Boy, because he already has what I want. Everything that glitter ain't gold. So I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where he's like, hey, I got all of these fruits, I got all of this water, you can just do whatever you want, and then try to make it look good. But in real life, he's actually using it over my head and saying, like, here, I got you wrapped around my finger. I would rather be homeless. I would rather eat a Wendy's burger than subject myself to eating fruit for the rest of my life under a manipulation spell. Period.
Right. It's more, that'd be like having a trip to hell with an angel.
Exactly.
Shout out to Pops.
For sure. For sure.
Sweet Mom?
All praises to the Most High.
Absolutely. All praises. Go
Yeah.
ahead, it's your turn.
Well,
My cash app is Velvet Gabriella.
Oh, did you?
Capital V, capital G. That's my cash tag. Velvet Gabriella. Capital V, capital G.
Yeah, I put that in the chat earlier to ask. Um, there was a question that I had that I felt was important, but honestly can't really think right now. But this has been awesome. Like everything that you're answering, I'm grateful that you didn't stop any question from being asked. Real quick, off topic, is Eligio abusing alcohol? Do you guys drink alcohol every day, nonstop? Like, how is that?
He's definitely abusing alcohol. Definitely.
That's so obvious, right? I just had to confirm because sometimes we're looking from the outside in, and you guys might just only drink one glass of wine a day, and it looks like it's excessive when really it's not. I figured, why not ask you, you know?
He's definitely abusing alcohol. He was an alcoholic before carbonation, before melanation. He was an alcoholic. This was the reason why he was almost in prison for 20 years because of his alcoholic abuse.
Yeah.
So now that he's in carbonation and he deems himself to be the Messiah and he's on this righteous lifestyle, he only limited himself to wine, which he has fallen victim to ingesting Hennessy. That ain't no organic drink at all. So now I am under the impression that he is mixing wine and Hennessy almost every day, if not every other day, which is still a form of abuse. Because when you drink and you verbally abuse someone or physically abuse someone under that substance, you are an alcoholic abuser or an alcohol abuser. Period.
Absolutely. So I have a question, and this might be a somewhat of a complicated question for you to answer, Velvet, but I only want to ask you this because I know that I personally get a lot of backlash from my viewers and some of the people that comment on my channel, because of my support of the ex-members who have gathered the courage to leave carbonation and to not go back. So a lot of people talk about accountability. And when I hear that word, I feel like every time you speak out, you are taking a form of accountability for being at carbonation, for possibly influencing other young women who look up to you and who are watching your journey and who are admiring the things that you've been through. When you hear people talk to you about taking accountability for your role in carbonation, how does that make you feel? Because I know how it makes me feel because I'm just an outsider looking in. I have a younger sister that's around your age range, and I know how easy it is to manipulate young women, especially when you're 20 years their senior. How does it make you feel when you hear people constantly talking about taking accountability for a cult that you did not control at any point? Can you tell us what your thoughts on that? How
I
just your
feel
feelings?
very I feel very misunderstood because when I was there, I yeah, I was fighting people, so to speak, because I was defending myself. No one ever he never turned the camera on those other people to show what those other people were doing to me for the reason why I raised my hand to them. You know what I'm saying? He was only trying to make me look like I was crazy. Needless to say, I feel misunderstood because when I was there, I was rooting for everyone's emotional sanity. I was rooting for everyone's heart not to be broken the way that it is. Malia wouldn't be going through what she's going through if it wasn't for Nature Boy, and he would have listened to me. Aya would have never be in the position that she's in right now if he would have listened to me. And Efru and Sheba and True and everybody in carbonation wouldn't have never got hurt the way that they did if he would have listened to me. I personally had a conversation. This was around the time when Y'all thought that I was going back because I had a phone conversation with him. I didn't have that phone conversation with him to be with him. I had that phone conversation with him for him to take responsibility for the shit that he's doing. And he took responsibility in front of the entire carbonation. But he'll never admit to that conversation. He'll never say, and I wasn't the person that I am. I'm not a fucked up person, so I wasn't even thinking about recording it, but I should have, so that y'all can hear it. But I have other files on him that I can expose about him, where he said that he was gonna do something and he did it. Needless to say, he took responsibility in these phone calls in front of the entire carbonation. The entire carbonation was clapping for me, like she's the queen. And I was about to have that environment very clean. I was about to have everybody like on some really righteous shit, but he don't want that. So after he figured out that I wasn't coming back, he stepped back and started trying to shit on me online, saying that I'm a hoe, saying this and saying that, and tried to put me down and put me down. I feel very misunderstood because that's fucked up. That's fucked up. On one hand, you take responsibility, but then on the other hand, just because you didn't get what you wanted out of me, you try to make me look like I'm not shit. Then on top of that, all of the other people in carbonation watch me try to give them the best. I told him, I said, y'all women need to be in y'all own relationship because he don't want to be with you for real, for real. He don't want to love you for real, for real. And I told Nature Boy, all of those women in there deserves what I have. If me and you gonna be in a relationship and the way you trying to make it seem like you love me and we love each other, those women need the same thing, and you not gonna be able to give it to them. And he was like, you right, you right. And admitted it to the women. And they was like, yeah, you right. You not going to be able to give it to me. But I still love you. I still want to be with you. So they're doing it to themselves. Like, I'm not about to stand there and be with somebody that don't give a fuck about me. I'm not about to sit there and be with nobody that I've been rocking with for a year plus, and have some person that just came meet you on the scene, just hop in the front seat like it's like she been there. Like, you fucking, oh, like, let it be known Aya should be where Malia is. For real, like, on some, like, if you really want to play that game, Aya needs to be where she at. Aya had your back way more than Malia did, and Aya is the one that's not gonna give you a problem with polygamy. You thought you had a problem with me, nigga. You better watch for Malia. She gonna give you the issue. She is going to give you the issue. I'm telling you, mark my words, on this day at 8:02 p.m. Malia is going to. He thought he had a problem with me. I feel misunderstood because I stood up for the righteousness. I stood up for the positivity.
Thank you, because that's kind of what I saw from just my lens looking in. I mean, even when you come back to Cookie's house, and sometimes people try to say, "Oh, well, Velvet was passing the women around," but I see it completely differently. I saw that Velvet was actually trying to have the women be with the people that they actually wanted to be
Wanted,
with and
and
that they
I
were
was, and I
happy with.
wasn't putting people together either.
No, I know.
I told those women, I say, manifest you a nigga if you need to. Like, you don't have to be with nobody here, but I'm not gonna sit here and just watch you be in a relationship where you getting fucked over either. Period.
Right.
Yeah, he likes to play that game of, I don't know, putting people together on how they
And that
look.
was another thing. Like, when I was, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that was another thing. Like, when I was there, I kept saying on live, like, to everybody, like, people thought I was being mean, but when you really look at it, I kept saying, I don't want to be with you, Malia. I don't want to be with you, Aya. I don't want to be with you, Efaru. I don't want to be with you, Sheba. I don't want to be with you, Nature Boy. Like, I kept saying that shit. I don't want to be with y'all. I kept saying, how is there any type of manipulation that I was doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to be with none of you niggas. For real, for real.
Can I ask a question? It literally just popped up in my head. I didn't like have it down, but I remember in Sybil's book she mentioned, because you're saying how you cared for the women, that the women would have like foul odors, and it would be you that would give them some yoni pills that would cure whatever smell that they had. You were always on point with keeping the women smelling good. Um, because he was so promiscuous, did you constantly get infections as well, or were you just helping the other women heal theirs?
I never physically had anything go off on my body. Like nothing, like I didn't have nothing really crazy. The only thing that I experienced was like my discharge used to be stinking. Like I didn't like the consistency would change and the smell would change. And I would tell him, I don't want to have sex with you. Because when you have sex with her, you come back, you have sex with me, my shit is fucked up. And he's like, oh, that's in your mind. You just saying that because you really don't like them and you don't want to be with us and this and this and that. I'm like, if she's sleeping with True and then she come back to sleep with you and then you come back to sleep with me, we might as well have an orgy. You feel me? So it was that for me. Like it was like always like that for me. So I refrained from having sex with Nature Boy. So this would allow him to have more sex with the other women. You know, he would use sex as like a tool to like try to get me to calm. He would have sex with me to try to get me to calm down. You know, to try to woo me into believe excuse me, believing that the circumstances okay, shit like that. So as time went on, you know, he stopped really kind of touching me on a slick, like he really just was giving his energy to the other women. But when they was in our relationship, like if I had no other choice but to be around these women, I would tell them like, you need to do this to your vagina, like on some real shit. Like I was the reason why we started using soap. I was the reason why we was doing the shit that we needed to do for ourselves when our periods came in, when all that shit was busting down. Because I'm not gonna give nobody personal business, but some of them women are nasty as fuck. Like nasty as fuck. I'm not gonna give nobody business, but that shit is atrocious. So because I grew up a certain way, I implemented that and everybody loved me for that. And everybody was like, yeah, this is why you the chief. This why you the mother of the tribe. Da 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 da. They would big me up for it. I've had multiple meetings with the women telling them that I feel like their vaginas was stinking and that they need to take care of themselves because you are in my relationship carrying yourself any kind of way. You not about to do that.
Oh, boy.
Shit is crazy. Like they used to just be stinking. Like I ain't never examined a pussy or nothing like that, but it just used to be stinking, like nasty odor. Like bitch, you be standing there and you could smell her just standing there. Like that's nasty.
The
Do you,
bacteria just spreading one person from the next, anal to
Vagina.
and do you think that Nature Boy just became accustomed to that? Because I know he did a live once where he said, "I love to smell my women naturally in all their odors." And I like, do you think he just became desensitized to the smell? Because I mean, even with Malia Tanisha leaving this last time, the smell was one of the major things that everybody talked about, and it seemed like it was just so nonchalant, like yeah, she smelled her insides were, so do you think it was a desensitization that's going on at carbonation with regards to smells and hygiene?
Nah, I just think he's a dirty person.
Sybil started to have an imbalance as well. I guess from sharing clothes with the other women. Somebody else that used to be
I
there.
can't hear you, sweet man.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I remember Sybil said in the book that she had an imbalance and you were the one that helped her to clear it up, even though she didn't sleep with him. I guess because she was sharing clothing with the other women. And then there was a former member that told me that the smell was really bad. They said you didn't smell, but the others smelled.
I always took care of myself.
You want to know what they told me that you smelled like? Just the natural underarm odor. They were like, Eligio likes that. smell on Velvet, but Velvet always smells clean, but the other one smelled like, I don't know.
I took care of myself under all circumstances.
Do you think that's why he put you on a high pedestal?
I think it was a part of the reason. The way I carried myself was a part of the image. Yeah.
Do you feel like some of the women there are mentally ill? Because I look at Niza and it's completely clear that she's not okay. And I don't see how anybody could sleep with somebody in that condition.
Yes. Because I'm gonna just add this to my answer. I How I joined melanation is different from how Aya, Efru, Malia joined carbonation. It was two totally different worlds. Even though it was the same shit that was happening, it was presented two different ways. You see, the people who are there now are there for different reasons than what I was there for when I came. It was different. Is the reason it was different. Flo, me, Azul, at the time, or his name is Tron now, Omek, Yaya, all of those people who was in that sector, we came for the knowledge. We was proclaiming the knowledge. All of the people that's there now is surrounded by sex. Everything is surrounded by sex. No one's proclaiming anything.
This was actually going to be a question that I was going to ask you. At what point, in your opinion, did carbonation become a sex cult?
I believe that it was always a sex code. I just feel like he he was more secretive back in the day. Like in Costa Rica, he was much more secretive than what he was once he got to Mexico. In Mexico, he was way more secretive than he was before he got to Panama. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until over time he let certain things out to the actual crew. Like when we're in the camp, like when we're in the cult, we're not watching how you guys are watching. We're not watching from the outside in. We're in it, looking from the inside out. You see what I'm saying? So we're like, this is okay. Like we think it's really okay, but it's not. We not realizing that he's having sex with everybody. Well, we do realize he's having sex with everybody, and we ask questions, but he's like, everybody should be with me anyway. I'm your higher self. You should want to get closer to your higher self. Then he'll proceed to ask the men if the men are feel like they want to be with him too, if they were a woman, and the men all proceed to say yes. You see what I'm saying? So it's a very fucked up way that he's going about it. But I feel like it was always a sex code. Even when he had the women walking around with no shirts on, it was a sex code.
Wow. Can I ask you a question about your relationship with him when he calls you the whore and all those negative things, and he
The
says that
what? The what?
when he calls you a whore, a slut, stuff like that. When you leave and you go home, he says that you sleep around and you come back and you bring the diseases to them.
Every time I've left carbonation, I got tested, right? I did sleep with people outside of carbonation when I came home, right? Nothing was ever wrong with my body. The last time I went to carbonation, I didn't have sex with nobody. And I came out of carbonation with three imbalances. Three. And I didn't get that from nobody outside of carbonation because, like I said, every time Nature Boy would like to say, let me backtrack. Nature Boy like to say I got an STD from this guy named Hezekiah that I slept with, right? I got tested before I slept with Hezekiah. Came out negative. I went back to carbonation, didn't get tested, left carbonation again, and got tested, and it came back negative. It wasn't until the last time I went to carbonation and left, I got tested, and I came back positive for trichomonas, which is a disease or a sexually transmitted disease from anal sex. gonorrhea, I believe it was, or chlamydia. I think it was chlamydia, which Musa and Joy had chlamydia and had to get treated for it within the tribe. And God knows who else had it. You know what I'm saying, within that spectrum, because Nature Boy slept with all the women in that, in, you know what I'm saying, in the thing. Chlamydia, I had chlamydia, and I had BV, which is a bacterial imbalance in the vagina. The pH balance is off, and that's obvious to know that it came from him sticking his dick wherever he wanted, and then come trying to have sex with me. All of my tests, when I left carbonation and I came back, I was always straight, always straight. Period. It wasn't until the last time I left and I didn't have sex with nobody. That last time I left carbonation and went back to be with him, and then I got tested when I came home and came back with all that shit.
When
Thank you for clearing that up about Hezekiah, because this poor guy has been dragged through the mud and he's never been able to defend himself. So thank you for speaking on that, Velvet.
Hezekiah, I would
I
like to
can't hear you, sweet ma.
okay. Since you defended Hezekiah, I would like to know when you came back to carbonation and you did the real nigga moment with Eligio and you said how horrible it was to sleep with Olmec and Olmec gave you certain bacterias and all this stuff. Did you say that to please Eligio or did that actually really happen?
It actually really happened, and I didn't want to get physically abused and verbally tortured by this nigga if I didn't comply with making the video. So, to fast forward a little bit, when we went back to Mexico after all of this stuff happened, when he stepped on my last attempt to go back and I escaped, right? He I asked him why he made me make videos like that. Like, why? Because if he would tell me to make a video, I would be like, nah, I don't want to make that video. Like, I don't want to talk about that. And he'll be like, you need to make it right now. Like, da da da. Like, he'll just go in on me, and it potentially turn into physical abuse. So, I try to refrain from that abuse in all ways. So I just would make the video. But with Olmec, I don't specifically know what was going on with Olmec. I don't think Olmec had any like type of STDs or anything at the time. I just believe that me and his energy did not mix. So it caused me to imbalance. I don't know if women experience that, but when a woman gets with a man, even though she thinks she likes him, he might not be the best for her. He might not be her nigga. So what happens is women experience yeast infections, different types of imbalances to let her know that she's not supposed to be with that person. And that's how I knew I wasn't necessarily supposed to be with Olmec.
Wait a minute, real quick. So if you felt the imbalance with Olmec, did you ever get imbalances with Eligio?
Of course, and we always talked about it. This is why I never wanted him to sleep with the other women and then come try to sleep with me all the time.
It could possibly be that, the imbalance came from you coming home. Olmec could have been, with somebody else and just
Yeah, it's a lot of factors that could have been played into the situation, for sure.
Velvet, I want to ask you something too. The day that you administered that HIV test on Nature Boy, do you feel that that test was administered in the proper way? Like, was his mouth clean when you administered that test? Had he been eating prior to being administered that test? Like, in your heart of hearts, do you feel that that test is a valid test, or do you feel
No,
that
I don't
okay?
feel like that's a valid test. No.
Thank you.
He was actually scared to take that test.
yeah, it was so obvious. Thank you for asking that question because that's very important. Now we finally know he was sweating bullets. And how do you sweat bullets when you're the one that says HIV does not exist? I'm just saying.
Like, it was like when it was kind of like, if you could think about the energy like this, when I was swiping his gums, he was like backing up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense.
He was. Oh my
Did
God.
you Velvet, did you ever see
Please,
Eligio?
wait, before we ask any more questions, can y'all please well, don't want us to get reported. There's more people coming into the room, and to keep the levels up there, can you guys please gift in the room? If you're not gifted, I just hope that you do, so that we can keep this interview going and that we don't get banned and kicked out. I do appreciate everybody that was just sending gifts and still sending gifts. We are on the heat list. There's about 2,000 2,207 people in the room already. So I appreciate everybody who is in the room gifting, everybody who's supporting, and everybody on this panel.
Can you bring Supreme up
I
back
can't
up?
hear. I don't even know what you were saying. Like I can't even hear what he just said.
Supreme. Okay.
Darn it. Go ahead, sweet I got to remember my question. It was a good one though.
No,
And
I'm
Teddy.
happy that you asked that question because that was very important. We were all watching that video and we saw.
Yeah, we need hearts. We need hearts in the room so that we don't get reported. I appreciate y'all, but anyway, I'm listening. I'm listening.
No, no, we just appreciate that your honesty because what we see from the outside was complete fear. And for him to be fearful of that test coming back a certain, you know, positive or anything, it just spoke volumes because he preaches that HIV does not exist and it's all in the mind. So why were you so scared? I could literally see the sweat coming out of his pores. I could see when he backs up. I could see when he was like, "You got a little blood from my gums, right? Right? You got blood in my gums. Okay, that'll show you I'm really like getting blood on the machine. So that means the test is gonna be more accurate." He was doing too much. Too
Yeah.
much. Ooh, ooh, this one is very important because it's been bothering me for so long. There was a time that Joy and Musa got into an accident and they almost lost their lives. Was Musa really driving or was it Eligio and had them take the blame?
I wasn't there for that. I
Okay.
can't answer that.
No, because I figure they would probably tell you the truth.
I don't that I didn't get all the details regarding that situation. It was a lot of stuff that was said and mixed up and mashed up. I don't really know what happened. And I wasn't physically there to know what happened either. So I don't.
Yeah, that was the time he had a near life experience, and that's why he wanted to be monogamous with you, and this is you're his only queen, and for the rest of his life he don't want to be with nobody else but you, and then the tables turn. Okay.
Okay, so I want to take it off on a different I just want to ask, do you know if Nature Boy kept a stash of snacks in his tent or in his private rooms where you guys would be, in your bedrooms or whatever? Was he taking any type of supplements to keep him looking bigger than all of the other men and women in the camp?
I never seen him take any type of vitamins, no, but I know he always did keep his own snacks, but I never seen him take vitamins or nothing
Okay.
like that.
Okay. I was just wondering. And I think we should probably segue into like what is it that you envision for your future moving forward from everything that you've experienced, continuing to speak out about carbonation and the sex cult that you were a part of and that you literally did escape from. Your story is an escape story. What are your goals for the future? What do you want for you and baby Eliana right now? What do you see yourself doing? Maybe, say 5 years from now.
I want us to have a a I want us to be in a situation where I can homeschool her and I have everything that I need for the lifestyle that I want to live. Whether that be tiny houses, whether that be me eating fruit whenever the fuck I want.
And you're not
I
gonna
hear
find
echo.
manipulation. He
I
brought
hear
you a
echo. I hear echo. And
Supreme, you need to
this is
mute
why
up.
I dropped everybody out the panel.
Do you plan on teaching others about narcissism before? Oh, that just reminded me. A lot of people are calling you a narcissist. Would you like to say anything about that? Do you think that you picked
What just wanted to come out of my mouth, I can't even say what just come out what wanted to come out of my mouth just now.
what?
But I'm not here to control anyone's life. I'm here to be in control of my own life. Whatever my daughter wants to do with her life, I'm gonna support her just like my father has supported me. I'm not in people's lives or trying to come into people's lives to use them and manipulate them into shit. I'm doing everything on my own terms and my own accord. Like shit, I'm at the point in my life where I don't even want to receive gifts from people, even if they tell me that they don't want nothing in return. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what kind of expectations people have, and people, a nigga will really turn on you real quick. Like, oh, I gave you this being, you need to repay my energy. Like, you should stop giving without looking for in return. Like, you should start giving without season. If you truly want to bless somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because your ass ain't never gonna get blessed that way. You feel me? Like, I don't even, like, I'm to the point in my life where shit, I don't know who even on my I don't know who for. The only person that I could I could really say is for me is my dad. Period. That's the only person that I could say. You know, like like the question to me, this is because it's personal in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like the personal aspect of it. It's like,
Mom? What about mom? You don't want
wait,
to talk,
what?
you don't want to talk about your mom?
Nah, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Can you talk about the support that you've gotten from Tina and support actually in supporting your dad and his huge support of you. I know there's a lot of people out here that, they might not have had their fathers in their life, or they might have had, fractured relationships with their fathers, and so they don't understand why and how they don't get unconditional love. Like, how do you yeah, I know you've spoken on this multiple times before, but how does it feel right now where you're at in your journey to have your dad by your side in the ways that he has, and he's setting an example for other men in the process of how they should be when it comes to their adult children?
I don't know about people's personal lives. I don't know what people go through personally. I know that my dad is here for me, and it's not off of the strength of anything off of social media. I know that Tina is here for me, not off of the strength of social media. You feel me? These are the people who raised me when I was a child. My dad energy has never changed for me. I don't know what other people are going through in their lives. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak on their situation. I don't even know for real, if, like, my dad is not trying to be an example.
He is,
He's
though.
just being himself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what people need to understand. My dad is just being himself. Tina
Yep.
is just being herself. I'm just being myself. And it's not a matter of like us standing up to be an example for people out there. It just so happened that our lives were blasted on social media, and now everything is on social media. So, now that we're actually still continuing to document our life off of the strength that it was blasted on social media, you're just seeing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just see it. This is who we naturally are. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Like, I personally feel like ever since I was a kid, because I was manipulated by a narcissist when I was a kid into believing that my dad didn't give a fuck about me. So now that I'm older and I understand my dad and I understand what he did, and the situation that I went through with Nature Boy helped me understand what was going on as a child. I'm completely grateful for my dad, and my dad does not have the 100% burden on his shoulders to take care of me. Me and my dad are we are mutually exchanging energy. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not bringing my dad down, and he's not bringing me down. We're keeping each other afloat at this point. You see what I'm saying? We're putting in each other. We're putting in each other. We're investing in each other. You see what I'm saying? So That's just the relationship that I have with him now, off of the strength of me understanding everything that happened when I was a kid, because I didn't have the clearest perspective of what my dad and who my dad was to me at that time. But now I understand who everyone is in my life right now. And there are certain things that I cannot even speak on because it's personal, and it's part of the reason why I'm even going through what I'm going through right now. Like, people like to ask the question, like, how did she even get attracted to a narc? Like, there are people born from narcissists, and these energies and these behaviors are taught to the child, and the child manifest people or attract people to them that's on that frequency just to fucking get a wake up call. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. It just is what it is.
Yeah, thank you for speaking on that.
Yeah. I know you must feel
Tina, ever since she came into my life, every decision that she's made was off of the strength of the kids, not my dad. Like, yes, they love each other. Yes, they're there for each other, but that speaks louder than her making decisions off of the strength of us speaks louder than her just staying in a relationship with my dad. Today or tomorrow, if they break up, Tina is still gonna be here for me, and I know that for a fact. And do you think my dad is gonna stop letting her be there for me? No, he's gonna encourage that. You see what I'm saying? Like, everything she's ever done was off of the strength of her doing the best for the kids. That's what I can remember. But because certain influences was in my life, and they was trying to get me to turn a blind eye to that energy that was in my life, I hurt her. I hurt my dad. I said fucked up shit to them that I shouldn't have never said because of the influence. But now that I see the reality for what it is, I'm not about to keep disrespecting them and taking the power away from them that they deserve. They deserve to be uplifted. Period. Period. Because they got real people out here who's not on social media, who's taking up for their kids, and their kids are bashing them. Still to this day, disrespecting them. It wouldn't be me. It ain't gonna be me.
That's
Velvet.
growth.
I wanted to ask you this. Did Eligio have a jealousy when he saw how much your family loved you?
Yes. Everybody over there who has some kind of family he's jealous of, and this is why he refrains from us talking to them. This is why he really, like, he'll make it try to seem like, he'll try to make it seem like, oh yeah, you should you should talk to her or whatever, or talk to your family. You should talk to your family. You should have a relationship with them. But in real life, once you have a relationship with them or you talk to them in any kind of way, he's picking your brain apart about what it is that you talk to them about. And if you feel like you want to go back to Babylon and all this extra crazy shit, and make you feel like you never want to talk to them again because he's interrogating you and downplaying them and telling them that your family is a demon and you shouldn't want to talk to them anyway. This is the type of stuff that he does to the people in carbonation. Of course he is jealous.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess he was, trying to make you feel like your father didn't really love you to separate you two. Like, that's a manipulation tactic that was probably part of the brainwashing, and that's why you were disrespectful to your parents, right? I'm just asking because I
You
don't
said,
know. I'm just
wait,
asking.
you broke up a little.
I'm just asking if the brainwashing was part of you disrespecting your father. And
Is the what? You broke up. I'm so
She's
sorry.
asking if the times where, especially in Mexico, I think it was mostly Mexico, where you would get on cam and Alicia would have you talking down on your parents. I guess the New Orleans term is talking down bad. Was that a part of the brainwashing? Was
Yeah.
that something that, how did you feel after those lives? Did you feel remorse? Did you feel bad internally? Or was it until later on, looking back and reflecting on that, did you feel like, wow, that was really messed up, you know?
Yeah, of course. Of course I reflected and felt like that was really fucked up. Like, that was really fucked up. Like, I would be an evil person if I didn't sit here and take responsibility for that shit.
No, we can see that you have now, and I think your relationship right now is just—it's a beautiful relationship. I know that you guys go through, it's probably a daily struggle for you emotionally, but your dad and
Yeah, I
your
think about it, but my dad, he doesn't even hold that energy in his soul. So I can't, like he doesn't allow me to hold on to that energy. My dad is a person of forgiveness. He pushes me to forgive myself, and if that means like for him to sit down and take that energy away from me, he will. Like my dad don't hold that type of energy when he around me. Like there was a lot of shit that I'm like, Dad, like how could you not still feel some type of way about what I did? And he's like, that don't matter. What matters is that you're home now and that you're truly expressing yourself.
absolutely. Sweet Ma, you back?
I hate to keep asking these counter questions, but because I read comments a lot, people were like, "Oh, she apologized to her parents before. She's gonna do it again."
All
Like,
right, we're not going off the comments, y'all. We're going off y'all stuff. I ain't worrying about the comments.
okay, yes, I just when I speak on the comments, it's like the comments that I read from like YouTube and stuff like that, just to have an idea of what I should ask. But I think Velvet really answered everything that I really wanted to know. There's some things that I missed out that weren't that important, but for the most part, she answered everything and without a problem. And I was so nervous to ask her certain things. So I'm
I
happy about
feel I never had the intent to fuck anyone over. So it doesn't matter what question you ask me. I'm a type of person, whatever I did in life, you can come and ask me about it and I'll tell you that I did it, because we're all going through shit in life. Can't nobody sit up there and say, "Oh, you had sex with four guys." Like, "Oh my god." Like, "Oh my god." Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody sit there and do that to me. And if a person is sitting there doing it to me, they're judging them own selves and they're going to have to face the repercussions of judging me to that extent anyway. So I don't have nothing to do with that energy. So I'm unbothered. I'm really unbothered.
um well, this last question that I'm gonna ask you, you might, if you feel uncomfortable, obviously you don't have to answer, but I remember that the former members that were last there, I don't want to say their names, they said that they had an encounter with you, and Eligio was just calling you promiscuous and stuff like that. Do you think that you were doing that to make Eligio jealous, or because you actually wanted to have like some feeling of love, where you
I'm
see?
not sure what you're talking about. You just spoke in a riddle and I'm
Okay,
confused.
all right. There was a zine, and I don't
I'm not
know.
giving a Zine and Shaka energy because they cloud chasers. Shaka is another nature boy.
Oh,
Straight like
okay.
I
that.
would have to completely agree with that.
No,
So
no.
I'm not giving them no energy on my panel because they using me for they trying to use me for clout. Period.
Well, you see, Velvet, you see how I said I didn't want to say their name for whatever reason. I didn't want to say the names, but I didn't know that he was a narcissist as well. I did not know.
Yeah, he treats a Zen. Me personally, I feel like Shaka treats a Zine how Nature Boy treated me in a way.
Wow.
Like he likes to make her feel like big her up and give her a certain amount of power, but in all actuality, he has all the power and he's just manipulating her into doing what he wants her to do.
Fifi said that exact same thing about him.
Well,
And he said that I work for carbonation, so forget him.
well,
It is
thank you
what
for
it is.
answering that question.
Anybody could come for me. I don't give a fuck. Like, you can come for me. You can try. You can try.
Yeah, Nature Boy's been trying his hardest to make Velvet look every which kind of way for the longest time. She's been through more than most 24-year-olds go through in you know in 10 years. in the
I
span of 3 years. So
feel like the reason why a lot of people are calling her a narcissist is because of her confidence and her strength. I don't think it's cockiness.
Man, if I wouldn't have the energy that I have, I would be one fucked up ass bitch out here. I would. Like, I really would. If I didn't have the confidence that I have and believed in myself the way that I do, I would really be sad. I would be a sad ass bitch. Then you could try to make me look out to be the person, however you trying to make me out to look like. Cause when sad bitches have sad energy, they do sad shit. I'm not doing sad shit. I manifested a whole fucking tent for me and my child. Like, come on, like come and I put it up in a house. Like, tell me what that say. Like, I'm not about to go into none of that shit. Like, I would just be a sad ass bitch if I didn't have the confidence that I have. And I'm not letting nobody take that shit away from me, because guess what? I'm beautiful. I'm strong. Yes, give it to me. I need all my cookies. I need all my brownie points. I need them back. Give them all to me. Thank you. I appreciate the support. And people who know me will understand. And those who don't won't. I don't give a fuck less. You the person that's not supposed to be in my life. Bye. I'm waving you out of my panel. I'm waving you out of my comment section. Period.
yep. I think people aren't used to young women having that type of confidence and just being able to build themselves up
They should
from.
be they should be inspired and start getting the confidence that they need in themselves, so that they can start feeling themselves and know the true person that they are in the inside. I'm not taking away from nobody being confident in myself. I'm not taking away from nobody giving myself the praise that I need to give myself, because if I don't give it to myself, do you think that everybody on this panel and in this not to throw no shade, but I'm just saying, y'all think that y'all gonna get up every day in y'all life to tell me that I'm beautiful? No, that's not your job. That's my job to tell myself that I'm beautiful. It's your job to tell yourself that you're beautiful and believe that shit. Now, if I come along as a little spider and tell you that you're beautiful, that could be like some extra change you put in your bank on for a rainy day, where you don't have no more motivation for yourself. But until then, have that shit for yourself. Start having inner peace for yourself, so that we can start loving each other for real, for real.
This is so random. Did he ever punish you and put you in the closet?
Hell no.
Okay.
Or the corner.
He always physically beat the shit out of me.
Okay.
Period.
Wow.
In the
He
worst.
put me in a corner one time. One time. And because he tried to use it to break me, just like he used the 4th of July to beat me in a circle to break me. He tried to put me in a corner to break me, and he still couldn't break me. So he had to take my ass out the corner and physically hit me.
One of the ladies, um, I believe it was Tracy. She said that he was live and he was saying he wants his energy back from you. Rebuke that demon. Rebuke him.
My device is on 4%.
Well,
Oh, yes, sir.
you've answered nearly all the questions that I know Sweet Mine I had.
I have one question. Y'all can hear me? Okay. Velvet, how do you feel about? I hate to say his name, but how do you feel about Nature Boy asking Pops to pull up?
My dad did pull up, and he didn't even know.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh,
Okay. I can't wait to hear that story.
was your dad beeping the horn when he pulled up? Because he was real spooked the other night.
I guess you could leave us with a suspense.
You heard what I said?
Well, the
All
answer.
right now, Pops.
Big salute to Pops. Hmm.
Okay, thank
Well, thank you
You
So
so
on
did
much.
that
good,
note,
Velvet.
I appreciate everybody for coming out. I appreciate all the questions. I hopefully that I cleared as a lot of clarity that's been shed onto the situation. I personally feel good because I all this energy I had in me since yesterday, or since this nigga touched down. So I mean, anybody could. The demons could come for me. They been trying to come for me, but they'll never win. Guess why? Cause God got me.
That's
The
right.
truth will prevail. He want to talk about some. The truth always come out. Yeah, bitch. The truth always come out, and we gonna see. We gonna see.
It's not the
So
it's the smear campaign that he's gonna put on you. It's all right. You got this.
Yep.
it's what it is. He done already. He done did the worst of the worst. Ain't no more smearing that he can do.
I agree with that.
The
That's
only
why.
the only other thing that I feel like he could probably smear on me is him going into how many niggas I was with after being with him. Like
Which
I
is
said,
none of his
women like
business.
I said, women go through shit with niggas all the time. Nigga, especially if a woman is with a man who's degrading them and she gets out into the real world and realize that there are actual niggas out there with money who will care for her and love her better than that nigga. Of course she gonna give a couple niggas a chance, but when she see that those niggas ain't worthy, she gonna ditch them niggas. And guess where they at? On the fucking curb. And guess where I'm at? In my fucking bag. I appreciate that, key Aries.
Oh, Velvet, I have one more very important question to ask you. Very, very important. Um, there was a live where Alicia said that you were coming back. He was talking to you on the phone and you were coming back. Is that true or false?
Wait, you said what?
There was a recent live where he said that he was talking to you and you were thinking of coming back. He purchased this.
Nah, that was a lie. I only made him believe that I was coming back. I had to finesse him in order to get him where I needed him to be. So of course I used and played to the fact that I would come back. This nigga double back tried to give me a plane ticket and all that. I'm not going. I said I'm not going. You got me fucked up. I done did this shit more than one time. I already know what it's hitting for. Y'all got me fucked up. You think I'm stupid?
And that was part of the reason why uh, the April Fool's thing was supposed to be on him, not on everybody else.
Exactly.
That's
But
kind of what I figured. I know a lot of people were upset about that, but I'm like, damn, I know it was on him, but yeah, people were
I, that April Fool's joke. If people, I honestly feel like this about the April Fool's joke. I feel like that happened for a reason. I found exactly what I needed to find out from that situation, and if nobody supports me on it, I still could care a fuck less because of the fact that I found out what I needed to find out. You might have not understood, but I understood, and I got a
Hmm.
lot of understanding from it, and so I'm good on my end. I can go to sleep with a healthy conscience. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is what it is. And the joke is still on him. Cause guess what? It's still April Fool's, bitch. Because if I was going back, I would be back. If I was going back with him, I would have been went to see him. I'm gonna save those files for later though. I'm not even gonna go there.
stay strong, Velvet.
Dad, what's up, Dad? 2%.
Well, Velvet, you know we stand with you.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for the interview. Thank you for answering the questions. We appreciate your honesty and your transparency. Um, yeah, just thank you.
I appreciate
Keep
y'all.
standing in your truth and keep your family close and keep your supporters close, and nothing can get through to you.
I hope that nobody takes offense to like my energy, like, cause I project myself and I project myself like this because I'm tired of people fucking over me. So I hope that everyone understands my disposition and realize that I'm not going off on nobody. I'm just giving the energy that has been put into me all since a long time, since a long I've been fucked over before Nature Boy. Y'all have not no idea the story that I went through before Nature Boy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mean to come off aggressive and defensive and like nothing like that, but you gonna feel me. I need you to feel me.
We feel you.
Can't wait till your book come out, baby. You just
Right.
make you do your book just the way you are.
I appreciate
And,
y'all.
thank you so much for answering the tough questions. You know, it was unexpected that you would answer, and I respect you for But
Thank y'all for coming out.
For
Thank
sure.
you, Pops. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Squad. Appreciate you guys.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye
Later.
bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Love y'all.
Love you
Peace.
too.
Love y'all.
Blessings.